Hey there, neighbors. Hey, this is Greg with Big Text Project. Welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here. If you would, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button and the notification bell. And hey, I'm a new YouTube content provider. Please give me your feedback, your questions, your comments. I'd really appreciate that. This is probably going to be a 2-episode project, but let's get into it.
Okay, neighbors. Hey, I'm starting a new project. This is Greg with Big Tech Projects. Starting a new project. It's going to be a water feature that I'm going to add in the breezeway between my house and garage, kind of underneath the pergola that I built. It'll be mounted up on the wall, and I'll be using this carbonate or this corrugated PVC type corrugated material to create this water feature. It'll be a 4 foot by 6 foot feature. So these are I guess these are 8 foot panels. So I'll cut them at 6 foot. Actually, I'll cut them at 6 foot 2 inches because I intend to put a 1 inch border, around the edge. So these panels will then be overlapped. You get the idea. They'll be overlapped like this to make 4 foot dimension. This way, again, 4 foot 2 inches. So I'll have a 1 inch border all the way around the feature, and you'll see how the feature comes together here in just a little bit. On the back side of this, I'll frame it with some. Little 1x2s here. It'll kind of look like that. I'll frame it with little 1x2s. And this piece of flashing here will be integrated with it as well. It'll catch the water in this lip here. It'll catch the water in this lip as it comes off the bottom of the water feature and directs that water into a tub. In fact, here's the tub right here. That'll be buried in the ground. Stuff is kind of stacked up in my garage because I've been wanting to do this for a while and just hadn't done it. But I'll use this as a catch basin for the water. I'll have a submersible pump sitting in the bottom of this. We'll pump water up onto the feature. The water feature will drip water down and back into this container, and it'll just cycle continuously. So this is the start of it. I was going to use my GoPro to film this, but GoPro is stuck. It won't let me power it off. It won't let me do anything. So it's lost its brains. So I'm using my cell phone. Hopefully I can get the GoPro working and we'll have a little bit better video. But first thing first is I'm going to cut this to length. Again, it'll be 6'2" long this way and 4'2" the other dimension. I may have a little difficulty because these panels are 26 inches by 8 feet. So I need to overlap this. So I'm trying to figure out. I need to just be able to double check that I can get 50 inches out of this. I guess with at least an overlap, right? Because these two panels need to overlap each other. So end to end, that would be 52 inches overlapped. Just one ridge of the corrugation may be enough to give me 50 inches that I need. Okay. Of course, these little this little label here will be peeled up, and I'll give you an update as we move along.
Okay, neighbors. Hey, we're the panel here that you're seeing is framed out in the 1x2 wooden trim, screwed in, and I'm about to build some brackets to hold this panel on the wall outside. And I just fabricated these with the most strappy material, and you'll see how that'll get attached to the wooden frame, and from there it'll get mounted on the wall.
Okay, hey neighbors, I'm back with the water feature project, and I've got the corrugated board mounted here in the breezeway, and I'm just dry fitting it at this point to see if got the right fit, right location, right fit. I do have it mounted. I fabricated some brackets that attach to the back of the frame, and then I drilled some screws, anchors and screws into the limestone. I'm going to test the water before I trim it all out. I'm going to test and make sure I've got the water in the right place. This little water fountain thing on the ground here will get moved. It'll probably end up being used, but it'll be rearranged a little bit. The tank that's in the ground underneath this fountain will get pulled out and a new one will get put in. But we're just kind of dry fitting it at the moment. I'm gonna bring the tank out and the submersible water, the little pump, hook it up and run it through there just to test it and see that it's working okay. I'll probably end up covering the tubing at the top. I'll put a little piece there that covers that, and of course I won't use those spring-loaded clamps. They're temporarily, but I'll mount the tubing in a way that it's not seen, and but I'm going to test it here in just a few minutes. So back to you in a minute. Okay, here's a test run. Again, I'm just kind of dry fitting it. In this case, it's wet, but I'm dry fitting the panel just to make sure it's working the way I want it. I've just got my submersible pump here in a bucket of water for now. This tubing here will eventually be on the back side of the panel, and maybe a little bright glare here with the sun, but I think you can see how it's dripping on my panel. It's a really soft, soothing sound on this. This is a PVC corrugated panel. It's actually two panels put together. It's a 4x6. Actually, I got a 1-inch border all the way around, so it's 6 feet 2 inches wide and 4 feet 2 inches tall. Because I'm gonna put a 1-inch border around the outside. I'm going to paint it, and I'll show you my design a little later when I get to that point. But I'm going to paint the panel with a design. Of course, this bucket is temporary. I have a big container I'm going to put in the ground right here, and this fountain will be probably moved completely out. There's a tank underneath this fountain. It'll come out of the ground. I'll put another one in there. You'll see that on my next video. But I'm just kind of test fitting this at this point. I'll make some minor adjustments on the drippers. I think I also mentioned to you I'm going to put a little cover over where the hose and drippers are. Tuck that up under a little cover, and of course the ends, I have the ends running long here on purpose in case I needed to make adjustments. Well, there it is. Very soft sound on this panel. Very soothing. Nice little water feature. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or suggestions, please post those below. And I hope you come back. There'll be another segment, another episode of this water feature project, and hope you like and subscribe, and I will see you on next time around. Okay, continuing on my water feature project, I've removed the old fountain, all the rocks that were around the basin. That's the lid that was on the basin. It was actually very flimsy. Could barely hold up this little fountain. So I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to put in a container like this, much stronger. I'll paint the lid. Anyway, I'm going to pull this out of the ground and put this in its place, centered underneath the water feature board. It's a little deeper, I think, but it'll work great. It probably is going to end up serving as a water source for my new water feature panel. Plus, I'll hook up the little fountain, and it'll probably sit on top of this. Again, this will be buried in the ground. It'll sit on top of this, and I'll have both running. I think I mentioned earlier I'm going to put a flashing underneath the bottom of this panel that will catch the drip, the runoff, and redirect it back into this basin. So now next step is let's get this old basin out of the ground and reposition the new basin in the ground. I'll test it I'll put my submersible pump in, and I think it should be just fine. Okay, I just about have this hole dug for the basin. It'll fit right down here in this hole, and I think that's going to work just fine. I got a little bit of dirt left to fill in around there. This lid will go on top, and that'll give me a return basin for water that comes off of the water wall. Again, I'm going to catch it, redirect it back into this basin, and then my submersible pump will obviously be down in there. And I'm making progress. I'll show you a little bit more in just a little bit. Okay, got the basin installed in the ground. Got it leveled, filled it up with water, put the fountain on it in the center. It's running. Of course, I'll shut it all back down. I'm just kind of test fitting things. It's sitting kind of just where I want it. I'm going to paint the top of that basin, and I'll add some decorative rocks on it. You can see the submersible pump cord goes out right over here and plugs in. Of course, I'll have a second submersible pump too for the water feature wall, but I just wanted to test this out and make sure it was going to fit, and it looks like it does. More later. Okay, now I've taken my water feature board off the wall, and I'm going to begin the process to paint the image that I want on the board. The very first thing I'm going to do is put a 1-inch border all the way around the outside perimeter, and that's going to be painted black. You'll see that in a minute, and then I'll outline the other features on the inside area of the water panel, and I'm using this extra piece of corrugated material because it has a machine edge to it, very straight, and it matches the corrugated panel, so I can make my measurement, lay this down, and then trace a line across my panel with this nice machine straight edge. So I'm going to use that to trace out my pattern. Okay, more later.
Okay, here you can see the panel, the water feature panel, with the border taped off. Just blue painter's tape there, taped off, and the interior covered in plastic. Actually, part of the interior feature is taped off too, just getting ready for the next phase, but covered it all in plastic because this next painting phase is just painting the black 1-inch border all the way around. Now, I decided not to paint. I know some of you are maybe worried, why are you painting in the garage next to your car or next to your truck? No, I'm not going to paint there. This is kind of end of the day. I'm going to stop here, and this panel will be taken outside, away from the house, away from the cars, and painted out in the yard. It's very bright, very hot, no chance of rain, so I'm going to paint this outside tomorrow. So this is the end of this segment, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I've got some really good parts coming up in episode 2 where you'll see the panel come to life and get finished, and I hope you enjoyed this. Please come back. Hit the like button if you would, please, and also hit the subscribe and notification bell. I would very much appreciate that. And please leave your comments, your feedback, your suggestions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.